Hello, fellow compatriots. This is your host, Tributron here, and today we are going to be working on some artwork in regards to ascending depths. This is your host, Tributron here, and I'm just going to be doing some doodling for today. Yes, I am going to be doing some doodling, working on finalizing some new artwork that I have done. And then I will go on my day in the afternoon, continuing and making some phenomenal pieces for each and every single one of you, which I am looking forward to doing. Now, before we get into anything, let me go ahead and see if there is anything going on in the chat right now. Let me go ahead and turn that off. There we go. And okay, connection is looking good. I like that. Okay. Turn on. There we go. So, hello, fellow compatriots. Let's go ahead and start doing some doodles. I am looking forward. Oh, hold on. Hold on here. Skip that. That, and then we are going to prioritize that. There we go. And let's go ahead and see if I can set up a window capture over here so that you guys can get to see what I am doodling. That's weird. Okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and see if... Okay, that's not working. That is not working. Okay, hold on. Let me see what's going on with this. Okay, that is not working. Well, that's a shame. That is a shame. Oh yeah, let me do that, and then let me go ahead and delete that, because looks like we're gonna have to do a display capture in this case, which I am not looking forward to. There we go. And now that should work. Boop. All right, there we go. That's better. In my opinion, it's something. It is something, but at least we got something. Isn't that right, fellow compatriots? All right, let's go ahead and get this show in a row here. Hopefully it looks... Oh. Got it. There we go. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this. First things first, I kind of want to go ahead and make this hyper realistic as possible. That's the main thing, is to make it hyper realistic. Let me get some more space here. It's a little crowded. Especially with the cable management that I got going right now. There we go. It's a little bit better. At least until I can do multiple screens this is going to be the reality of the situation going forward. There we go. Okay. And I think we are going to start off with a base color. I'm going to do the grays over here. Go for it. It's best to do darker colors and then you can highlight it with the brighter colors. That's what I've found to be the most useful when it comes to that regard, especially when it comes to the terrain. And we are going to do that, and honestly, let's make this bigger. I think we can make this bigger. There we go. Udron Micros says, last time I've been this early, my torn / Agori size sets didn't cost $10. Wow. Wow. Did they went up in price of gory sets? That is crazy. That is crazy. That is very crazy. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Let's go thinner here. Yeah, down to 10. Yeah, right now I'm doing the highlights in terms of terrain shaping and everything like that. Because over in this region over here, there's a lot of hills and stuff like that, especially over in this area, which I have decided to have a bunch of hills, and making all this is easier said than done. And I like to doodle a lot. So the idea here is to pinpoint all the elevated areas in the island of Ascending Depths where the story takes place in, because I have expanded this world so much in terms of the island itself that, you know, I thought, you know, I should expand on this a bit more. What can I do to expand on this? And this is the end result of that, basically. Be like, yeah, I can expand on this. All right. Udron says, I distinctly remember how the Gory in 2009 cost like €8, and then Bionicle stars were suddenly like 10, and this kept going well into Hero Factory. The heroes also costed €10. Whoo! That's painful. That is painful, my fellow compatriot. That is very painful, and I am very sorry that things have been that. Oh, that will be lighter. It wouldn't be as dark. Shoot, I forgot. There's a desert region over here, and I put grass up there. It's all right. I can still have it be faded a bit. It can be more sparse. I can make it lighter. But I kind of like how I colored that, so I can just change the color palette. All right, is this more flat? It's partially flat. It's partially flat. Yeah, for the most part it is. Oh, not that part. That does not, because there's a band there, so I can't be there. Oh yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. So yeah, I noticed as well that like not just like sets are becoming more expensive. I saw a Borok that was like almost $80. It was Korok that I saw. That was like close to $80, and that was on Etsy. I typically go ahead and check Etsy all the time, looking at prices. And there are some things that are like pretty expensive. Like, especially when it comes to like sealed sets, you can spend close to $80 to $100 depending. And I find that very surprising. Like very, very surprising that it costs that much. You know, some sets. But, you know, it's been like 22 years since Bionicle, so it kind of makes sense. But I think they are overcharging it. You know, especially because, like, there are some AFOLs out there. If you get a Bionicle set from an AFOL, they will sell it to you dirt cheap. That I have recently learned, that being the case. Like, they'll sell a Bionicle set really cheap. And I find that, like, surprising. And that is going to be more lighter because it's going to be heading more into the greener tones. And yeah, that works. Oh, no. There we go. And then we can go over here and start doing that and that. And then over here, things can get a bit more greener with the bands. There we go. There we go. See, that wasn't so bad at all. See, it works out all in the end. It works very nicely. Okay, that's too pointed. It wouldn't be that pointed. There we go. There we go. That's about right. That's about right. There we go. My browser keeps glitching, and I can't actually watch this train. It keeps freezing up. Really? That is weird. Because on my end, it's doing pretty good job of being consistent. So I find that surprising. I find that very surprising. There we go. It could be your internet connection. It could be that. Because right now it's running pretty decently. I find that very strange, and I mean very strange. Hold on, let me, because I'm watching the stream right now. There is latency, but it's not that bad. Okay, now we're gonna do the water. I'm gonna have to do, and I'm gonna do it with a chirography pen. And we are gonna go to the blues. And I had to find a good blue, and I think little muted. Well, look pretty good, all things considered. Okay. And let's see here. Yep, that is looking all right, all things considered. Oh, God. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. That was... I had to be quick with it. I can't be that quick. Oh, come on. I know I can be that quick. Okay. Wow, I suck at this. Alright. I suck at it, so I'm not gonna bother. There we go. Oh, I have duplicated. I have officially duplicated more. Oh, God. And now it's freezing for me too. That's lovely. That is very lovely. Just love it when that happens. Absolutely perfect. Alright. Gonna have to wait for this, because computer is having difficulty and it's not enjoying my existence right now. Quite the opposite, actually. It's not. It is not doing so well. Come on. What's going on? What's going on? I do not understand. Oh, God. No! Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, now it actually is getting pretty bad. Yeah, it is actually getting bad. Oh no! Yeah, it is. It is struggling. It is struggling really hard right now. So until this loads up, hopefully you guys can hear my voice, my sweet succulent voice, as I go ahead and discuss the importance of working on this thing that I'm trying to do. Oh no. If it is picking up anything good. I'm not so sure if it is or what I sound like. Hold on, let me go ahead and check a few things here. If I can even check a few things here. I'm gonna have to. Because some reason, it is not liking me at all. It's doing the opposite of liking me. Okay, so I still sound good. You guys can still hear my voice. So we're going to just have this be a podcast now. This is what it's going to be. It's going to be a podcast. And because I cannot draw, I can't do anything until the computer catches up. So in the meantime, I have been planning on working on Dino Dog some more. However, the leg design has getting me caught up recently. Now, keep in mind, Dino Dog or Lizog or the Jungle Strider, however you want to call him, he is going to be a fully operational robot that can move by itself, is able to hold conversations and everything like that, all the while using Mindstorm's NXT. And this system, mind you, it only allows for like 3 servos to be utilized in correlation with about 4 sensors, as far as I can understand. It uses up to 4 of them. And with that in mind, I am trying to design in a way where the legs are actually lifting up off the ground and taking a step versus just it driving around. Because there's only 1 motor available and I can make things walk with just 1 motor. I have done it in the past before and it should be very stable once I have 4 legs in place. Because it wouldn't put too much strain on the motor even though it's just 1 motor that's moving everything. Now, I have done something similar in the past using just 1 motor. The first time I actually made a Bionicle that can walk by itself with just 1 motor was a Makuta Pterodax mock that I did in late 2016, if I recall. This was when I was first starting off on YouTube and making videos. And I would always try to go ahead and make builds more complex than the last when it comes to making all these various different types of builds and designs. Now, coincidentally, this building system, this building method, has expanded a lot, and I have refined the process. Using a lot of slicer engineering, as some might call it. I'm looking at you, Nikon Planet Ripple, or Aquamagna, depending on whatever the case might be. Now, if you are just joining in, right now the screen is frozen, so the only thing you have is my voice for the duration of however long. I was planning to go ahead and do an art stream, but already my system is not liking me very much. So this is going to be the way things shall be for a good while until I can get things opened up and working. Because it is It is not liking me. Not one bit. Not one bit. Unfortunately. So, when the thing that I've always wanted to do was to make a Bionicle that can move by itself and everything like that. And everything stimulated more when it came to making, oh man, when I saw, oh man, what was the anime called? It was a Gundam anime, Build Fighters. Yeah, when I saw Build Fighters, it got me even more stimulated to like, oh, I want to make a Bionicle that moves by itself. But I never actually caught up to that until like much later, like way after the show ended, and now we got Build Divers, which that's old now. That's not new. That's old now. In internet years. Anyways, hopefully things will catch up after this quick ad break. So enjoy. And come on. Okay, well, apparently not. So, you guys are gonna be hearing from me a whole lot more, it seems like. Okay, until this computer decides to be a computer and not actually freeze up all the time. Because I'm not so sure what I can do. There's no inputs that I can put in, so I am stuck here. I am virtually stuck in this predicament. And there is, oh, okay. Did I do that? I hope I did. Can I? Wow, I cannot put any inputs besides scrolling for the first window. That is very sad. Anyways, so I was working on making a fully autonomous Bionicle, and this went through several iterations, and it led to my next build, which was CTM01, that used an actual motor for a walking mechanism. And Gus, it says, new from Lego Bionicle. Yes, I'm working on a piece of artwork over here. However, I'm just waiting for the computer to do its thing, because right now the inputs are non-existent right now. Like, my mouse is not a mouse. So I had to wait for inputs to actually process and work. Because right now it's not exactly wanting to be a mouse. So I won't be able to do any artwork currently. So I'm just waiting on that. But in the meantime, I've just mainly been talking about all the times that I've been trying to make a fully autonomous Bionicle. And I'm getting really close to that. I'm making the first ever robotic Bionicle that will have its very own speech pattern. So it'll be able to gesture, communicate, walk, and be able to see and interact with people around it. Now, this fully autonomous Bionicle, this robot, if you will, that I have been making, it's about the size of a small dog. So pretty big, all things considered. Now, how small of a dog we're talking, or rather how big of a dog and small dog relations are we talking about here? Now that is something that to consider. If I had to give a comparison, it's probably going to be as big as slightly bigger than a rat terrier mix, slightly taller. So definitely more high off the ground than a Chihuahua in that regard. It has longer legs, and I have no idea, and I can't fix it right now. I cannot fix it right now. I have no ability to fix it right now, even though I am trying my best to not have it freeze all the time, but it is freezing. I cannot put any inputs or anything like that, and I can't do any hotkeys, especially, so, or save or nothing. So I am going to have to press escape, see if that works. But if that does not work, then actually we can press that, see if that works. Oh, okay, so that. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Okay. Hold on. Let me. There we go. Why was it freezing? I have no idea why it was freezing, but oh my gosh, about time. I don't think it can handle too many things at once, guys. I don't think it can handle too many things at once. So what I'm going to be doing is doing something different in regards to we're gonna delete that. Oh, wait a minute, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, cancel. I did not mean to do that. And YouTube Studio. Okay. Content. Live. Okay, that's. Hold on, let me go to history. Maybe I can re-access it. There we go. I'm back. Woo! That was... Okay, we're gonna just keep this in the small. And we're gonna go ahead and do display capture. There we go. And now we should be good. Hopefully. Okay. That's better. That's a lot better now. I am sorry about that, fellow compatriots. Greatly. I apologize greatly for that. That was very weird, and I don't know what the deal was in regards to that. But hey, we made it. We survived. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, there we go. And woo. Okay, so yeah, I've been trying to make a very hyper-realistic version of this island from Ascending Depths, because this is where all the stuff is going to be going down. At least most of the stuff is going to be going down in regards to this world. Because there's going to be a lot going on in terms of the story in this land. This is the story in particular, instead of taking inspiration from Polynesian cultures, it's actually based on Taino Indian cultures. Basically, my ancestral background, so which is going to be a fun twist, especially because there isn't any cultural appropriation, because I am from said culture. So it's not so bad in retrospect. It's not so bad at all. But it's going to be certainly fun to see where things go in regards to that. And I think you guys will like it very much in regards to the directions that the story might go, based off of a much more Pacific Islander type of background story about people living on a tropical island trying to survive and living prosperously. Like, we were a very peaceful people. We hardly had any conflict, but of course all stories must have conflict, so there is going to be some baddies involved that I have written out. I can't go into too much detail, which sucks, because I have 4 years of story planned already for this entire series that I have been in the works on for the longest time. But I can toss a few bones. So basically, the premise of this story is about a group of individuals who, I had to be very picky on what I describe. I had to be very picky in how I describe it. So I am going to be trying to be as very vague as possible, if I am able to, because I don't want to reveal any story points. So the premise is there are different realms in the world of Ascending Depths, and each of them have their own views and beliefs on where they originated from in said world, and how life should be. And so because of that, there is a bit of conflict in regards to how people should live, and this has led to full out war. And the war was so massed and vast that it caused a event called the Great Divide. And ever since the Great Divide, which eventually created the realms in the world of Ascending Depths, it has led to a unsettling peace throughout the island, though there are some that still want to reign control. And therefore, there are those that still aim to do that, and they have a thing planned. But in order to get that thing done that they have planned, the main villain or villains, depending on how you want to view it, have to cooperate with a different realm and or region, which would lead to a little bit of conflict. But they have an end goal. They know what they want out of it, and so that is where the story takes place, with that partnership being made unbeknownst to everyone else, because ever since the Great Divide, nobody has been very social with their neighbors. Only those within the realms have been very close and social to one another. And as you can imagine, that does not go very well if there is a lack of communication. So our group of heroes must venture across the land and gather insight in the current state of the world that may have been overlooked. And that is where our group of heroes come in, and that is just the start of the story. Now, there is a lot more points than that, but it has been pretty fleshed out. I have ideas of where I want these characters to go and how they'll be interacting. But that is just surface level. Now, there are different species as well. There's going to be different species in this world. And I can't reveal the names all too much, because some of them are a neat little reference. So I'm gonna only refer to the names that I have made up for this story. So there are the Atolians, which are more humanoid beings that are approximately about 7 feet tall. And there are the Astrolix, which are typically depicted as miners. So they do work a lot underground, but you can also see them from time to time up on the surface as well. So they're not region locked by any means. They can go above the surface of the island at any stretch, but their whole spiel is building and making advanced architectures and so forth. They love to dig and they love to build, and that will become very apparent once you see how vast everything is in the world of Ascending Depths. It can get very vast, and I mean very, very vast. So there is that, and what else? What else is there? But yeah, for the building system, making the parts especially, it's gonna takes time. It takes time to make parts. I don't normally make parts by hand. I make parts by hand. I don't normally use a 3D printer. Everybody keeps thinking I use a 3D printer, but I mainly hand sculpt everything all by myself. And it is a very tedious work, you're working with tweezers all the time. It's very tedious work. But the end result is very rewarding because you get a lot more detail than you would typically get with a 3D printer. Renders only go for so much in retrospect, like the amount of rendering that you would get in such a setup. So it is very rewarding, and I do enjoy it extensively because of that fact. Okay, so there's a lot of water here. I did the water. I'm very proud of the water. And now we dump this in, and we're gonna lower the tolerance in this because I don't want it to go too. Oh, that's too low. Okay, we can increase it to 5. There we go. There we go. All right, and let me go ahead and get this. Oh no! There we go. Yeah, we don't want any holes in this. You definitely don't want any holes when you pour stuff in. That's the last thing you want to happen. And it poured. Of course it did. And Viacron K12 says hello. And hi, welcome. Pat Wynn says Bionicle is back, baby. Yes, it is. I am bringing it back single-handedly. And it is very tedious work, but I have been working vigorously for several years in making this become a reality. I have 4 years of story plan, like I was talking about earlier. And I recently revealed some stuff about the story, but I will go over it again. And I may end up talking a little bit more about the story. So, first things first, to get things out of the way, there is going to be no cultural appropriation of any kind in this story because, guess what? I am basing it off my ancestral background with the Taino people, which were Pacific Islanders. And because of that, a lot of the way of life, living styles, and practices are in the world of Ascending Depths reflect very similarly to that of my ancestors. And so you'll be not only experiencing the story of Ascending Depths, but you would also experience the way of life of my people. At least as much as is available. Now, there are a few things that you can't necessarily read from a book, and how we typically go about our way of living, and you'll be seeing a lot of those very bizarre yet pretty unique and fascinating practices all throughout in Ascending Depths, which I'm very happy to go over when I reveal the narrative. Now, the story itself, Gus says, my favorite foliage. Viacron says, this is awesome. Yes, Viacron says, true. And so the story, without revealing too much, because I have 4 years of story planned, and there's a lot of Easter eggs and so forth in relation to the world building and everything like that. But in summary, there are different groups of individuals, groups of people, and they used to live harmoniously on the island. And because, like, we Cheyenne Indians, we lived very peacefully. There was hardly ever conflict at all. But of course, like most stories, there needs to be conflict. So I was able to write some in. And so there's these group of different groups of people living in this island. Which I cannot reveal the name of the island yet, I'm sorry, because it's also a bit of an Easter egg in itself. But the group of people have their very own different belief systems in how the world works and how life should be in the world. Like, they have their own, like, belief systems and how everybody should live, and so on and so forth. However, this eventually lends to conflict because of different ideals and perspectives and how life should be on the island. And it got so bad to the point where a war happened, and it was called the Great Divide. Now, ever since the Great Divide, in the world of Ascending Depths, the entire world itself has been divided into realms or regions, depending on how you want to look at it. And due to that, there hasn't been hardly any interaction between each of the realms or regions' neighbors because of the bad reception and everything like that. Like, nobody wants to go ahead and talk to Region B because Region A knows the things that they have done in the Great Divide, which they weren't very fond of. And so, hence, conflict. And this is a very brief summary over everything because I can't reveal anything too much until I reveal the full story. I'm just giving you the Cliff Notes version. And so what happens is there is a distress signal that is reached out to the world of Ascending Depths, which I have revealed that part publicly. So they are known as the Ancients, and they're coming to the planet. Now, the Ancients haven't been around for a very, very long time, way long before the Great Divide even happened, like way, way before. And so everybody's like, wait, what's going on? Is this a ploy? Is this a tactic made by some of the other realms or regions? And so nobody knows what to think. But at the same token, coincidentally, the big bad or big baddies, depending on how you want to look at it in this story, want something out of this. And so, out of the situation. So what they do in response is they try to team up with another realm or region. Now, this is unbeknownst to everybody else because rule 1 in living in the world of Ascending Depths, you do not talk to your neighbor. But they did. And they were able to negotiate a partnership. Now, it was a bit of a delicate diplomatic agreement, but they were able to figure out what exactly they want out of this partnership. So, partnership gets the green light, and they start causing havoc on the island for their end goal of something mysterious that I cannot reveal at this time. And in order to get a better grasp of the situation that's happening all throughout the realms, because communication and finding out what everybody else has been up to has been really left to interpretation. So what happens in response to that is our group of heroes are sent out to find out what's going on. And that is where the story begins, with our group of heroes meeting up with each other and journeying across the island and finding all of its secrets. And not only that, but to discover what dark, sinister plots await for them. And that is the brief summary of Ascending Depths. Pat Wynn says, that's the name of my favorite episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Lego Diego says, hi Trib, sorry for not showing up in your previous stream from 5 days ago because I was busy at school. Hey, no worries. Are you going to use original Bionicle molds or make your own? I think new masks will be interesting, but I would love to see a few classic designs return. I'm going to be using my own parts. Mainly, I have been designing my own elements for the longest time for Ascending Depths. It's its entirely new building system. It is compatible with System, Technic, and also CCBS. Like, it's compatible with all the other prior systems. And it's very intuitive, the building system, which is why I call it TRIBS, the Tailored Reconstructible Intuitive Building System. And that has helped greatly in regards to that. And trying to design characters, because I don't know how to use a lot of parts, but they are specialized parts. Like, I'm still making a lot of parts. I had to do parts in various sizes, and but when it comes to detailing and structural durability, they are going to be very sturdy builds. I am not joking. They are going to be very sturdy. They're going to be a lot more bigger than your typical Bionicle set, because of the building system. It's the only downside of the building system is the fact that whatever you build is going to become a lot more chunkier in terms of design. They're going to be a lot more bigger. They're going to have a lot more bulk to them, which will have a lot of physical value to them. Like, they will definitely appear in a way very, very valuable in terms of the amount of mass that they would be utilizing in said building system. Lego Diego says, Lego Diego says, hey Trip, I've been wanting to ask you this for so long. Have you seen the pilot episode of this new series called Amazing Digital Circus? I have not yet, but I've been seeing it pop up regularly. But to finish off what I was saying, they will be using some old parts. I'm not going to be completely throwing out a lot of old Bionicle parts, because some of them will make a comeback, because they are actually pretty useful. So you're going to be seeing pins, axles, maybe some spearheads. But it's going to be very limited in what you're going to be seeing, because the skeletal system, skeletal augmentation system, the SAS, or the SABS, skeletal augmentation building system, that's built into the TRIBS innately in terms of its design. And so there will be some parts, but it's not going to be a lot of parts, because it's just going to be entirely its new parts in its entirety. Pat says, you truly are carrying on a legacy. I hope so. I hope so. Viacorn says, how do you come out with designs? Also keep up the good work. Thank you. I come up with the designs. First, I start off with coming up with texture. And I can probably showcase a bit of the texture design work here. I can pull it up here on the screen and show you guys all my works. Once it processes, there we go. Full color. And we're just gonna scroll through these. And okay, so it comes up with figuring out the texture in design work when it comes to figuring out how to make a design. And once I figure out the texturing, that was the main thing, is figure out texturing, then make a building system around that texture and design. Which is like the main important thing, is make sure that you get a lot of texture and design first before you start making the building system. And then once you get like the design work down, then you're able to basically go from there and expand. It's like, okay, what character do I want to make? And as you can see, this was one of the first preliminary artworks that I have done with all the cast. For the most part, most of the cast all in a single shot. You got you got Untitled Hero 1, you got Voa, you got Huzu, you got Anua, you got Wakaragi, you got the Kalgazo, you got oh man, I forgot what this creature is called. I forgot the name of the creature, but it's a really creepy creature. And then you got the Grey Hood over here, which is one of the villains of the story, and this is also one of the villains of the story, Wakaragi. And yeah, and then you got, but this was back when I was still figuring out the design language of what I want these characters to be, and there was definitely an idea of putting alternate faces. Now this might still be a thing where I do incorporate alternate faces into the builds of these characters so that they can be more expressive, but these are astrolix. And there is a deep meaning under the name itself, but these are typically the smaller inhabitants of the island, and they usually, as you can see, feed on crystals. They don't have to wear masks. They can totally live just fine without a mask, and they feel comfortable eating in front of other people, unlike Bionicle. You know, it is very vital in this narrative that I show community and caring for each other throughout like this narrative. It is a big heavy point because being Puerto Rican, we are very social, you know, and so I want that to be reflective of that of Taino Indians as well, which is why this is very important, and this is one of the locations showing like one of the canisters and so forth. This was like one of my earlier artworks before I started doing the line work and ink and so forth. And that's one of the early renders of Huzu as well. Lego Diego said, you should totally watch it. I'm now a huge fanboy of it. I will. Pat Wynn says, I think pinholes, bar holes for hose will allow for some throwback to early Bionicle, how all the Rai had those ribbed hoses, and the bulkier your designs become, the more find variables can be added. Yeah. There will be a lot of detailing added to these. Viacron says, have you watched Murder Drones? I have not. Lego Diego, as I love the series because I'm not interested in the characters or looks of the show. I'm really, and I mean really, interested in the lore. I'm not a Murder Drones fan. Will you be using Rachi heads and builds? I might. I already made some molds. They're a little bit tricky to make. And this is Crystal Forest. Again, it uses similar design works. And this is a new sub-theme that I'm making for Ascending Depths called Memory. Now, this is going to be something that uses a lot of old parts and with its own little building system that you guys will enjoy greatly. Lego Diego says, hey Trib, they're making another live action Avatar, The Last Airbender movie for Netflix. Oh god. I am concerned. I am very concerned in regards to that. I'm not so sure how I feel about that. But yeah, so Memory, I'm working on that. That is going to be a new theme that's going to be coming out. And of course, you can see more glimpses of the building system and how it operates with Anua over here, which is going to be one of the characters for Ascending Depths. Here's an early render of Anua. As you can see, it changed a lot compared to the old building style, compared to the new one. Because the thing is prioritizing shaping more than anything else with as few parts as possible. And there are also some previews as well in regards to some of the lore for this island in particular, this world. And so here's some like glimpses for you in that regard for the world of Ascending Depths. Some lore. There's a lot of lore. There is a lot of lore. Not too much lore to be intimidating, but enough lore to expand and add more to it if need be. Because there is a lot of stuff that happened in the background and that I am not going to be putting in the forefront. I'm going to be putting characters, interaction, community, and the struggles of finding oneself, finding your purpose, finding identity, and where you belong in the world is like one of the main things that are going to be driving home in this narrative for Ascending Depths. That is like the main thing. But yeah, that's the world of Ascending Depths for you in summary. And let me make sure that everything is going good here. So let me do that real quick. There we go. Okay, hold on. I need to make sure everything's good. Okay, everything's good. And boop. There we go, we're back. Viacron says, how do you draw parts? So typically when I'm drawing parts, I do it on pencil and paper. I'm very good at drawing geometric shapes, especially with perspectives. So this is something that I've always been doing since like high school, basically, and continue doing throughout college. Always drawing like things in different angles and so forth. So when I'm drawing a piece, I focus a lot on the shaping itself. And once I get the shape down, I can get the perspective right away with just drawing 2 lines. And then from just drawing 2 lines, I can basically draw out the entirety of the shape that I am making. And then I can add the finer details if I wanted to in this building system. And that is something that I have done countless times in making all the different elements. And then once it's done, like drawing it, then especially drawing at different perspectives, different sides, like I do a top, down, and side. But sometimes I can just make a part with just looking at like one side of it, but if I need to go ahead and make measurements and stuff like that, I had to do the front, the side, the top, and bottom. And I try to avoid asymmetry as best I can because the building system requires symmetry in the base, but you can make asymmetrical builds easily with the individual parts and don't have to rely on the parts being asymmetrical themselves. If that makes any sense. So that is like one of the main things. Oh, I actually do get fan art. There have been a few people that have drawn Huzu. Huzu is actually pretty popular because he was like one of the first designs that people would see. And then it was Terex. Terex is a Kickstarter giveaway set that I have been in the works of making, but because of how many redesigns I have been doing of the building system, that also inherently affected Terex as well. So, and a good example was Anua, when the Anua in Ascending Depths, not to be confused with the Anua in G1 or G2. It's a name in spirit, not a name that actually is said character. I must specify. You know, Ascending Depths is its own thing. It's its own story and world. But the Astrolix started off having a completely different design, and they changed over the years, like multiple times. I think out of all the characters, all the species rather, in Ascending Depths, the Astrolix were the ones that changed greatly because they were like the first small builds that I was trying to fully design out. And then once the Tribs started rolling out the Tailor Reconstructible building system, it was much more easier to design how these builds should look. It significantly helped greatly. And I mean greatly. And trying to come up with a design that fit with the rest of the cast and fit a cohesive design language. Because having a design language is very vital when doing your own theme. Lego Diego says, hey Trev, who's your favorite TF2 character? My favorite TF2 character, I'm gonna have to go with Scout. I really like Scout. He's a very funny guy. He's a very funny guy. I like him. He's a very silly man. And I still hope that he lands his luck with Pauline, but knowing his track record, that is going to be a very, very long time before he gets anything with Pauline. And if you get the reference and you understand the lore, then good job. You know TF2 lore more than I do. They will be sold on Etsy. just go to, and I'm going to be doing plugin now. Be sure to go to ascendingdepths.etsy.com. Once you go to Ascending Depths on Etsy.com, you will be able to go ahead and find various artwork for sale. And not only that, but we will have Metru brain stocks already for sale and purchase. We got Trans Yellow and Trans Peak, and you're going to be seeing more custom parts in the near future that will be available on Ascending Depths. So be sure to stay tuned for the 31st of this month. Yes, that's right on Halloween, I am going to be treating you all with some more parts that are going to be available for purchase, such as limbs and Metru heads, as well as new colors for brain stocks. Not only that, but we already have some artwork of the main cast of characters available for purchase. So be sure to go to ascendingdepths.etsy.com and get your very own artwork and or custom parts. And that's it for our sponsor. All right. Pat Wynn says, have you looked into color matching official LEGO colors? And if so, would you consider colors like classic purple or teal? There will be classic colors. Absolutely. There will be colors such as purple and teal. We're also going to be doing metallic colors as well that are discontinued, like metallic green, metallic blue, and so on and so forth. There's going to be a lot of colors available for purchase that you will be able to experience firsthand. So yeah, if you like what you see and you want to go ahead and get some parts, especially colors that have not existed, be sure to go to ascendingdepths.etsy.com right now. Or on the 31st, where there will be more parts available for purchase. And every single time you make an order, 40% of that income goes directly into the production of Ascending Depths. So, highly recommend, go ahead, get some high quality parts from yours truly. And I'll stop advertising. I'm sorry. Pat Wynn says, oh, those metallics are fresh. Love how you sell it. Thank you. I have been online for several years, so I know how the ball rolls. Some people don't like it, so I try to keep it short. But it's good to see when we get a few admirers here over at the Tributron Blue and White channel. So let's go ahead and get some nice gold hues going on over here. Oh, hold on. I feel like that's... There we go. And... Oh, yeah. Hold on. There we go. And that's there. And yeah. So this has to be desert area. So that would be there, and then that would be there. You know, doing artwork takes a while. So I only do it occasionally, but I always try to keep doing it so that when I actually do the comics, which will be available for purchase in the near future, you'll be seeing a lot of high quality artwork, because I am trying to practice a lot. And now a lot of people have suggested that I use other artwork digital software for doing a lot of digital art because I prefer coloring on a digital space in case if I do mistakes. But the thing that I do not really particularly enjoy is doing all the line work. I like to do the line work by hand, so I use a lot of ink and paper. I may kill a couple of trees in the process doing that, but hey, it's worth it. In my book, it's worth it. All right, so let's go get lighter hues right over here. There we go. There we go. Pat Wynn says, I generally like it. I am happy to hear that. But, again, to go ahead and recap here, there is going to be a set in the works. I am actually making a set for the memory sub-theme because I really want to get figures on the go. I want to see how they work and operate. So if you ever want to see full-on sets, they're going to be affordable. The issue is right now is that I am just starting out and selling stuff. So shipping costs may be a little bit on the high end if you live outside the States, but do not fret at all. The prices may be high now, but they're going to be lowering in the future if sales keep going the way they are. So if you're not able to go ahead and get a set or a part right away, don't worry, guys. Don't worry. There will be plenty of parts available, like even years from now. So you don't have to worry. I want to make sure that everybody around the world has full access to some parts. And maybe even sets when we start getting to that. And now we did the line work. Now I actually start painting this island up a bit. So we're gonna get the richer greens. Gonna go ahead a little bit more. Green is a little bit tricky sometimes. You know, you had to find the right color. Get the right muted colors. There we go. That's too light. That's too light. There we go, that's better. There we go. This is gonna have a bit of a paintbrush type of appearance first, but we're gonna be detailing it up. Don't you worry, this is gonna be detailed up significantly to match the different hues and colors and everything. You know, you get the different shade values in the go, especially when we start getting into much more finer details. It might end up becoming pixel art, which I'm going to try to avoid doing pixel art, because I remember one time when I tried to draw each individual blade of grass, that was painful. And that was like a VOA piece of artwork that I was doing, a VOA. Which, by the way, the names of the characters themselves are completely made up. For the most part, they are made up completely in this story. There we go. There we go. And then do the same over here. Get that on a roll, get that on a roll, get that on a roll, get that on a roll. And then we go ahead, change the hue, cycle again. Boom, boom, boom. I've been using paint for maybe way too long. It is a possibility that I have used it for too long. But I don't like to believe that. Not for a second. You know, I clearly have not been using this for way too long. Especially when it comes to color shading and stuff like that. And then I can worry a bit more about grooving it out, because right now it looks water washed. You know, it looks very faded, but it's not going to be like that for long. You know, the thing about artwork is that sometimes you had to go through the ugly before you get to the pretty part. A lot of people try to go into making something expecting it to be pretty and then more prettier as you go along. Now, sometimes it has to be kind of ugly first, you know, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, and then you can eventually get to the much more prettier aspects of what you're trying to do. You know, so never go into art expecting like, oh, I'm gonna make this the prettiest thing ever. It's not going to be. It's not going to be. So again, like, take everything as you will. You know, it's not gonna be as good as you might want it to be. Now, another thing is when it comes to like world building and so forth, there's a bit of a trap that I've also been looking into, and that is keeping everything locked, like world locked. And what I mean by that is, if you're like writing something, the last thing you want to do is like, oh, you know, when you're making a land or terrain rather, it's like, oh, you want people living close to water sources, you know, or, you know, and they live by the water and so forth like that because they get all the food and so forth. Yeah, that's true. Or, you know, it makes a lot of sense if you want people to live close to the water. But then if you have, like, let's say, mountains over here, wind blowing through here to there, and you're living close to the water, that might not be a good idea. And you might overlook that entirely. So you will be like, okay, well, what if they make, like, sturdier housing? Maybe they go hunting and get clothing and so forth like that, and then you're adding more just to have them live there, you know, and that could be pretty expensive, because then it will be like, okay, well, how do they hunt, how do they gather, you know, and all that sort of stuff, and you're adding to it. But you never want to do it in a way where you will inadvertently affect the way that the culture operates, because anthropology is something that not only affects like how people live, but also how they are physically. And that is another big thing. I took anthropology for 3 years back when I was in college, and the body and lifestyle are interlocked. Like, they're not separate. A lot of people keep interpreting them as separate things, but they're literally just one of the same. Very much so. Very much so. And so the last thing you want is to have something that you are making and try to make it to separate distinct things, you know. And sometimes if you have a group of people living in an area, they may not actually be from that area. You had to think that migrations happen all the time throughout history, especially colonization and everything. Like, people come from all sorts of different places. So even though they may live in one place, they may not be reflectant of the place that they're living in. And that is a big one. And I mean a big one. So you always had to keep that in mind all the time. All the time. When you're working on a world. Kind of focus on that all the time. What countries do you ship to? I ship to Canada, Europe, Australia, China, and the United Kingdom. I ship worldwide. I ship worldwide. So if there is like something that you want, you know, if you're living in a particular area, I will still ship there. You know, I'm just mailing toys. That's all I'm doing. So somebody will have a lot of fun in having figures readily available to them. And let me go lighter with this, because I have to. There we go. And there we go. And oh, there may be that area will go like that, and then I can go with the darker colors over here. There we go. Okay. Viacron says, okay. Yeah, so you need not worry. Figures will be readily available anywhere that you live. You need not worry. You need not fret. Let me cut this more richer. And let me go ahead and check something real quick, so don't mind me. There we go. Looking pretty good. Pretty good, all things considered. Nice. So, what I have also been working on besides making figures is I've been like testing a lot of colors as well. I've been making a lot of colors recently for the world of Ascending Depths. Now, the thing is, I'm going to be introducing new color palettes as well, and not things that are Lego already makes. In terms of like colors, I'm going to be introducing new colors as well, instead of just like colors that have existed for a good while. So that is another thing that I am focusing heavily on when it comes to making these figures, as making parts that already exist, and as well as like making new colors for parts that already exist, or parts that I have been making and making them in new colors, and parts that don't exist yet. Now, one of the colors that I'm going to be introducing is Ghost White. This is going to be a new color palette that I really like, and there is also going to be more colors as well, especially when it comes to purples. Especially. And you'll be seeing that in full effect, especially in the near future. Okay, that needs to be bigger. There we go. There we go. I'm trying to fade this in to the best of my ability. There we go. I'll focus on that volcano later. There is a volcano there, by the way. There's a volcano there. I thought I should point that out. All the regions I already have planned out for Ascending Depths. I know I was talking about the regions earlier, but I want to emphasize that. Like, they all have location names and everything like that. Down to, like, the tiniest of details. Like, you got... off the top of my head, this is Ozo's tail. Over here. Somewhere over here is Reaper's Peak. And then Heaven's Reach is over here. And then you have the Dark Forest. Somewhere in this area over here is the Dark Forest. And then you got Bone Forest in this area over here. There's going to be some patches of green that's called Bone Forest, and there's a reason why it's called Bone Forest. And the Tahiti tribe lives close to the water, and then you have a few other areas as well. I can't. And this, these collection of islands over here also have a name, and this island over here also does have a name. Okay, Viacron says, can you create parts based on fan art? Absolutely. Where do people submit fan art? You can go ahead and submit fan art in my Discord server. That is the main place where you can go ahead and submit artwork. And I can go ahead, look over it, and you might see it be made into an actual part or thing. I do commissions. I do commissions. So that is a thing that I've always do for all my customers. You know, if there is a high demand. If there is a high demand. Or if I see there could be a high demand in something, then I will most definitely make that. So... And I make sockets as well already. Actual working sockets in different colors. So if you're looking for lime sockets, that might be in the works in the near future. However, I cannot guarantee that right now. but it is definitely something that is in the works. And I'm gonna have to get that a little bit lighter. There we go. There we go. Wait a minute. I have water. Oh, I forgot to put water in there. No. And does the region become a large robot like Matanui? Actually, no, it does not. I'm not going to be doing a giant robot plot with this. There is something a little bit more different with this. Now, only homage that you will see in regards to this island in particular is if you rotate it. So if you rotate it, let me go ahead and rotate it for you guys so you can see. Is if it's rotated, which it will momentarily. Just give it a moment. Is that it looks like a face, but like a head rather. This is the eye. This could be interpreted as a mouth or what have you, or the mouth could be a little bit more down over here. And that is the only reference really there that, hey, this is giving a nod or homage to Bionicle. The fact that the island itself kind of looks like a face if you really look at it. You know, there's the eye, there's the chin, there's the forehead, and it almost looks like as if the back of the head is breaking off in a way, as if like it's about to awaken. But that is the only part that has any semblance of, oh, this kind of looks like, is this going to be a giant robot? Oh, wow, it's a giant robot. Oh, the whole time. That's like the only thing that I got in regards to that. So, you're welcome. There we go. And that's there. That's there. There we go. And we're gonna have to put that there. There we go. Get the base colors in the go so that I can color over it again and then color the water again afterwards. Because right now the water is a little bit on the, there we go. And then that is gonna slowly change. Can you post the link, the Discord link on the channel? Link should be in the description. It should be in the description. Yeah. So go to the description down below of this live stream. All my socials are there, including the store. So be sure to go ahead and check that out. And you should be good to go in that regard. There we go. And then we're gonna increase the thickness on this. There we go. And there we go. There we go. There we go. And get this a little bit more greener. There we go. And let's see Oh, community post. Oh yeah. I can do a community post as well. I do like community posts all the times. I do like polls that I usually run whenever like I'm doing like if someone wants to get their vote in on something, they can be able to do that very easily. I make it within the realm of possibilities. There we go. And okay, so that would have to be a little bit more faded now. And that is going to be right there. There we go. There's that would be Bone Forest right over there. Just give her a take. And then it starts fading over here, so there's gonna be a bit more dry area over here. Gonna be pretty dry, all things considered. And then completely. And there we go. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. There we go. That's looking like the island that I know and love. Definitely the island that I know and love. Oh, that's not the green that I want. That is too much of a blue hue there. Way too much of a blue hue there. There we go. Now I can do mountain ranges, which is more of a light brown over here. And let me change the concentration of this so that it's not as apparent before I do the finer details on this lovely little mountain range that I am coloring up over here very muddily. But sometimes it has to be muddy. Gotta get it muddy before you get to the good part. You know, that's how it works. That's how it works, guys. Don't believe me? Just watch. We're gonna change the song. We're gonna change this song. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do something special. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna do something special over here. We're gonna go ahead and get some nice music on the go. I think some music will go a long way for this. And I mean a really long way for this. There we go. Should be in that playlist. And let's pause that.
Stock up at Tractor.
Oh, yep, that's not what I want. There we go. Oh, no, I don't want it that big. There we go. Now that is what we want to hear. There we go. Now this is the Bionicle experience. Will I get copyright strike? Maybe. But is it worth it? Absolutely. Listen, guys, it's all about the world of the Bionicle. It's all about the world of the Bionicle. To understand, or will you ever understand the world of the Bionicle? It's a vast thing. It's so vast. Oh, I can make this bigger. Yeah. There we go. Oh, yeah. That's better. Okay, and we are going to make it more reddish. Yeah. Add some red values in here before we gritty it up a bit. There we go, and then this is going to be more the lighter gray. Actually, no, the blues tend to be better in terms of getting those cools. There we go. Now this is the Bionicle experience. I don't know about you, but I think this is the perfect Bionicle experience. That we go ahead and get the greens on the go just one more time and do this. Shrink that down a bit more. There we go. Actually, yeah. Then we can add some more richer greens because it's surrounded by a lot of moisture. And I mean a lot of moisture. There we go. Now this is the true Bionicle experience. Alright. And we do the same over here at this island. And we're gonna change that in. Oh, that's too much. There we go. go. Okay, now we can start greebling this up. And that starts with the harder colors. So we're gonna start adding this. No, that's, don't want any overlap. That's the last thing you want, this overlap. No, I want that there. There we go. Hard to get the textures down. There we go. I'm not too sure how I feel about this. Gus says, montage! I know. This really does need a montage. This really does need a montage. I'm gonna... This would be a way to... Actually, you know what? We're gonna... Oh yeah, I think it's layering, yeah. Just layering the different hues that I got collected already. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I want that, and then shrink that, and then we dim it down. And then lighten the opacity so that grab this band over here because it's lighter, and we can do it a thin band. Just to highlight that area over there. I'm not too sure how I feel about this. To this, expand it. Nope, that is that's too sharp, considering how we are softening everything. Define it. Is it the best? No. Could it be better? Absolutely. But I think I can make it a little bit bigger. As soon as it's done, like, processing everything. There we go. See, that's all I needed. Just a little processing power. This. We're gonna do that, increase it to max. And then increase to max again. There we go. Oh, how I love that. Oh, hell yeah. And, oh, no, I want custom. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, get a little darker for me. that will go there, and that will go there. You know, this will go a whole lot easier. You know, I kind of liked it better, the black and white. I'll be honest with you, but again, kind of need those other hues, you know. So. I'm just gonna fill up this till I can get something a little bit, and then detail it up even more. Because I want it to be hyper detailed, but it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. I might have had to do it in physically. I think if I did it on the physical piece of paper, it might have ended up better, but I don't want to bet too heartily on that, because that might not end up as good as I might have wanted. That is the only reason why I am using Windows Paint 3D. Because I do not trust abilities that much. There we go, and you know, I haven't played the Bionicle the game in quite a while. I missed that game. I should play it. What do you guys think? Do you think I should play the Matanui online game sometime? Because I think I should at some point. I definitely should. Alright, well, I would continue drawing this, but I am afraid that I will actually have to continue this another time. I know. Big sad times indeed. Very sad times indeed. And we're gonna do a little thing called doodle. Doodlin', 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 doodlin'. And doodlin', doodlin'. Oh, that went horribly wrong. You know what? We're gonna do a calligraphy pen because I think. Oh, that's way better, the calligraphy pen. I like the calligraphy pen. That is so there we go, and then we just pour this. Should fill. How did you leak? How did you leak? Impossible. Impossible. You're not supposed to leak like that. I sealed you completely. No, I did not seal you completely. I am a fool. I thought I did, but I was a fool. What? What? That makes no sense. How does that happen? Is there any more gaps like that? I don't see any more gaps. I think I might have gotten them all. Yeah, I think I got them all already. Yeah. Oh, hold on. I see the issue. Hold on. Gotta increase the tolerance to at least 9%. There we go. There we go. And then we go ahead and get a little bit deeper with this one. Get the calligraphy pen and start doing. Of course it would. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't there be gaps? I love gaps. Gaps are my... Why are you having difficulty processing? Stop having difficulty processing. You can process a line, even if it's a big calligraphy pen. Single stroke of a calligraphy pen. You can do it. I believe in you. You know what it could be? It could be that I didn't save. Maybe I should save. That might be a great idea if I did save. Let me save. Oh god, there's a spoiler. There's a big spoiler. Hold on. I'm gonna do an image for this. There we go. There we go. Hopefully you guys didn't see anything. You saw nothing. I was very, very stealthy. You didn't see nothing. And I mean nothing. Thought you saw anything, you did. Joke's on you. You didn't see anything. There we go. Perfect. I have saved. Alright, let me make sure there's no more gaps. Because if there are gaps, I will be a very sad person. Hello? There we go. I was like, why weren't you work? You're supposed to work. It's your job to work. There we go. Put that there and then get deeper. There we go. And then we use our special technique, which is... Oh, actually, hold on. We need to increase the thickness of this. There we go. And increase the opacity. There we go. That looks a little bit sharper, though. I kind of like how sharp that kind of looks. Oh. Lower the thickness of that because that was too thick, and yeah, keep it lower over here too, because why not? There we go. That kind of does it. That kind of does it. It works. It works for what it's supposed to do. Is it perfect by any stretch? Nah, not even at the slightest. But does it do the job well enough? Absolutely. Absolutely.
It takes dedication to be the best on the ice. And it takes gear from Pure Hockey with the largest selection, fastest delivery and the best customer
wait a minute,
experience you
hold
can
on.
find. Pure Hockey
Hold
has
on,
what
no.
you need to.
No ads. No ads. There we go. We did it. We saved. That could have ended up very badly. Holy cow. That could have ended up very badly. There we go. And let's go ahead and get this all finalized to the best of my ability over here. There we go. Like I need to do more than just spray paint. I think harsher lines would go a long way, I feel. Because there's not a lot of textures you can get with paint. I think that's why a lot of people are like, why are you using paint? Use something better. Got a point there. I could, very much could, but for now, that's a decent island. I'll pretty it up later, but I think that is good for now and for this video. So, if you guys enjoyed this live stream, why not give a like? And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. And again, if you want to go ahead and check out more of my works, especially like what I'm selling or anything like that, be sure to go ahead and check me out at ascendingdevs.etsy.com or any other social media outlets. But that is about it for now. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.